Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today on social sourcing. We're just waiting for a few more people to join us and then we will kick off. So just give us 1 minute and then we will start. Okay, I think we'll start. We may have some more joining, but yeah, very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name's Andy Daly. Delighted to be joined as well by my colleague, Nicola McAvoy. We're both in the Business and Enterprise team at Social Enterprise UK. And we're going to be talking to you this morning about social sourcing and the exciting opportunities there are around working with social enterprises through your purchasing. So if we start with just the agenda, we'll first of all talk a little bit about what social enterprises are. We'd like to talk to you about a specific type of purchasing, sourcing, procurement called social procurement. And then we'd like to just give you some suggestions on how you and your organization might get involved. We just to let you know that we are recording the session. We'll share the recording. Afterwards, we'll share the slides afterwards as well. If you have any questions while we're speaking, please do pop them into the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, and then we'll have plenty of time to come to those questions as we finish. So to begin with, definition of social enterprise. Social enterprises are businesses with a social or environmental purpose. They trade like any other business, but they reinvest their profits to benefit people and planet. How they operate, who they employ, and where they work is transforming lives and communities across the UK and around the world. If we move to the next slide, I just wanted to show you a few social enterprise brands that you may have come across before, and we'll just talk a little bit about each of those in turn. So if we start with Bellu, Bellu is a drinks business that puts people and the environment first. They invest their profits into saving carbon emissions from entering the atmosphere. And over the last 10 years, they've donated over £5.5 million to WaterAid, bringing clean water to hundreds of thousands of people in the developing world. The next example there is Cafe Direct. They've been championing the interests of coffee farmers for over 30 years. They only buy direct from smallholder farmers and they pay additional funds for social and environmental projects where they work. Patagonia, of course, well-known outdoor clothing brand. And in 2022, they announced that every dollar that is not reinvested back into the company will be distributed as dividends to defend nature and fight the climate crisis. The Big Issue, founded in 1991, is now published across 4 continents. They support homeless and vulnerably housed people to earn an income through selling the Big Issue magazine. Tony's Chocolonely, delicious chocolate. They are on a mission to make the chocolate industry 100% slave-free. So they're not just working on eradicating child labor and slavery from their own operations, but across the whole of the chocolate industry. And then Who Gives a Crap, perhaps the most memorable brand name on there. They produce toilet paper. And their profits are donated to help build toilets and improve sanitation in the developing world. So you can see that there's a broad range of sectors that they work in and also some fantastic social and environmental missions behind those social enterprise brands. So I hope that gives you a flavour of some of the big social enterprises out there. If we talk about the scale of the sector here in the UK, social enterprises make a significant and growing contribution to our economy. They contribute 60 billion annually to GDP here in the UK, 2 million jobs at social enterprises, which is actually about 5% of the overall workforce. And there's more than 100,000 social enterprises across the UK. And as I said, these numbers are growing all the time. So the opportunity really is on the rise. In terms of who we are at Social Enterprise UK, we are the national body for social enterprise. We're a membership body. We believe social enterprise is our best chance of creating a fairer world and a more sustainable planet. Now, on the next slide, I'm just breaking that down into what we do. We've got over 3,000 members right now, and the sorts of areas of work that we get involved in. It's evidence and research work. We want to inform a wide range of stakeholders about the difference that social enterprises are making out there. Our influencing work involves especially working with policymakers. Just to give one example of that, over 10 years ago, we helped to write the Social Value Act, a piece of legislation which now influences almost £100 billion of public sector spending annually. Through our market building activity, we have a range of programs and initiatives which support social enterprises to access public sector, private sector, and consumer markets. And within this market building work sits the social procurement work, which we're going to talk about on today's webinar. So if we move on to social procurement, this is a term that you may or may not be familiar with, but we define it as proactively selecting social enterprises as suppliers to your organization in order to generate an additional social and environmental benefit from existing spend. And existing spend is a really key thing here. It's not about spending differently or spending more. It's just about using the money that you already spend on a day-to-day basis to have that additional social and environmental benefit. If we move to the next slide, we just wanted to show visually a few examples of social enterprises in our membership, which have been very successful with corporate clients and other large buying organizations. So social enterprises operate across a wide range of sectors, especially strong in consulting, especially strong in facilities management, office management, waste management. So anything around your facilities, your buildings, your offices, logistics, manufacturing, marketing and the creative industries is also very strong, and events management, HR and well-being, food and drink, big area as well. And there are also lots of opportunities in discrete day-to-day spend. So you can even just think about your office supplies, your gifting, and things like that as well. So loads of opportunities for any organization, really, regardless of where you operate and the size of the organization. So the program that we are perhaps best known for in this area of social procurement is the Buy Social Corporate Challenge. So we've got 10 years experience supporting buying organizations to work with social enterprises. The Buy Social Corporate Challenge is a program we launched in 2016. We're working with 30 high-profile companies from a wide range of sectors across the economy. The group of companies collectively spent over £250 million with social enterprises in the first 6 years of the program, which we're really delighted about. And I think this program shows that any organization really can work with social enterprises as suppliers. We're seeing strong growth in the number of buying organizations that are looking to work with social enterprises. And I think that's because they bring innovation, diversity, and sustainability into the supplier base. If we look at that a little bit more, our research at Social Enterprise UK compares social enterprises with other businesses. And on innovation, diversity, and sustainability, we're finding a very positive picture. So we found that 66% of social enterprises introduced a new product or service in the last year, much higher than the corresponding figure for other UK businesses. So they are innovating in terms of new product and service development. If we look at the diversity in the leadership teams, social enterprises are far more likely to be led by women compared with other businesses, far more likely to be led by a person from a racialized community, also far more likely to be led by a disabled person. So a lot of diversity in the leadership team. And then sustainability, of course, is a big area. 67% of social enterprises have or plan to embed tackling climate change into their governing documents. So some really strong statistics that show the added value of social enterprises above other business models. On the next slide, we just wanted to show some of the benefits that our Buy Social Corporate Challenge partners talked about. So those 30 big businesses that we're working with, when we asked them for the benefits of sourcing from social enterprises, 92% said that it supports their business values and purpose. 81% said that it has increased supplier diversity. 69% said that it had created external recognition for their organization. And 69% said that it had enhanced employee engagement. That last one is something that we hear very, very often in the war for talent and staff engagement and keeping employees engaged at your organization. This is a really strong area to show that their values are aligned with your organization's values as well. So some really strong stats about the benefits. And then the next slide is perhaps my favorite slide, a little bit of myth busting. Some people sometimes think you might have to compromise on cost or quality when you work with social enterprises. That's not what our Buy Social Corporate Challenge partners tell us. 90% said that social enterprises are cost neutral or cheaper compared with other suppliers. 95% said that they deliver comparable or higher quality service or products compared with other suppliers. So really positive statistics there about the way social enterprises are delivering to our corporate partners as well. So I hope you'll agree there's a lot of value in engaging with social enterprises as potential suppliers. There are lots of ways that you can start working with social enterprises, but I'm going to hand over to my colleague Nicola, and she will be able to tell you about a specific service that we can offer you to help you get started on this journey. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Hi, everyone. Good to be with you all this morning. Just a reminder, if you do have any questions, then you can submit those into the Q&A panel as well, whilst Andy and I are talking. So yeah, as Andy said, we'd really love to introduce to you a new service that we launched this year, which is about supporting your organisation to be procuring goods and services from social enterprises. And it's the practical support that you need and the kind of support that we've learned how to give over the 10 years supporting large-scale organisations to do this. So the procurement service, to give a sense of what you'll get out of it, first of all, as I mentioned, you get the understanding of how to build an effective social procurement programme. The concept of social procurement is quite simple. You find goods and services that are made by social enterprise. To make this something that sits across your whole organisation, is something that you can keep building upon year in year, it is something that you have to consider as a whole organisational programme. And there's a lot more information that we've built over the years on how to do this well that we want to share through Social Procurement Connect. Secondly, as being the centre of knowledge on social enterprise and also the largest network of social enterprises in the UK, as well as also having led on the Buy Social Corporate Challenge, we have a really great understanding of the opportunities to buy with social enterprises. So we have those within our network. We have an understanding of others that could be supplying to your organisation as well. And then lastly, we have a huge community of leaders in the social procurement space that have been spending millions with social enterprises for years. Also others that are early in their journeys or partway through their journeys, learning how to make this an organisational wide initiative. So part of Social Procurement Connect is providing a space for people to connect with their peers, with leaders in the space. Often we find that it'll be client and supplier relationships going on within the community. So your clients that are asking for you to be working with social enterprise, perhaps, they'll probably be in this network too. So it's about having a community space for you all to connect, collaborate and learn from one another. So how does this work in practice? We have three core aspects to the service. First of all, we have that guidance for how to do social procurement. And this is an online resource centre. Secondly, we have tools that specifically give you insights into social enterprise suppliers. I'm going to come on to what that looks like in a second. And then I mentioned already the community aspect, so bringing the network together. How that works in practice in more detail. First of all, as I mentioned, we have an online hub with resources that give you tips for success, best practice, lessons learned, case studies of how other organisations have managed to do social procurement well, or the challenges and the opportunities that they faced as well. And within this online resource, it's part of the Social Enterprise UK members area online. You also are then part of the wider online community of both buyers and social enterprises that could be supplying. On the tools side, we have an online directory of social enterprises that we launched new last year. This is actually a publicly available source, so you can go in there as anybody in the public to look at all the social enterprises within our membership. What we've added though for specifically our buying audience is a premium layer of this directory, so you can get extra insights into the social enterprises that you can be buying from. So you'll be able to filter by social enterprises that we recommend to work with. You could be looking at extra information like recordings of pitches, so you get a flavour of their work, get to understand who to speak to directly, like sales contacts. And so there's extra insights that you get in the premium version. Another key part of the tools work is that we do an annual review of your supply chain as well. This can either be used at the beginning of the programme, so you can get a benchmark of all the social enterprises you're currently working with already. Often we find organisations are surprised that there's more in there than they realised. And then we can also use it as a tracking progress throughout the years to see how that spend has increased over time. And lastly, the community aspect that I described before. This is bringing everybody together on a quarterly basis. What we do is start everybody on a intake. So we've just started the spring 2023 intake. In June, we'll be starting the summer 23 intake. The purpose of this is that then you're with amongst organisations that are at a similar level to planning through the challenges and opportunities that come with social procurement. And then also the community sessions help you access the leaders of this space, so you can be learning from them and get all of the tips from the people that have been doing it well for years. So how can you get involved? If you're interested, first of all, you need to be a member of Social Enterprise UK as a supporter or as a social enterprise, because we have both organisations that supporting the social enterprise sector that are involved in this, or we have large-scale social enterprises themselves that are also purchasing from other social enterprises. So first of all, you need to be a member, and then you have an add-on for Social Procurement Connect. In terms of pricing, this is a sliding scale depending on the size of your organisation, and we measure the size by turnover. So you can see here, and we'll be following up, as Andy said, these slides afterwards, so you can reread this picture to see what it would mean. To sign up for membership and Social Procurement Connect, it's an annual subscription. So this would be the annual cost that you get. Just to finish off, and very much to echo what Andy said, it's a really exciting opportunity, whether you're working with Social Enterprise UK or not, to look at social enterprises that you can bring into your supply chain. We know that there's an added benefit when you invest in a social enterprise, that you're investing in the communities that they support or the environmental projects that they're working on. So often this is really aligning with the social value or responsible business or corporate responsibility, whatever phrases your company uses. It's really aligning with those goals that I'm sure many of you have as you're joining the call today. As Andy mentioned as well, it's really great though, once you're being able to demonstrate that you are yourselves a leader in social procurement, you're able to build your own credibility in that space, evidence that you are creating social value. And we know that there's a lot of commercial opportunity that comes with that, whether that's looking at future business that you're securing, or as Andy said, looking at your talent pool. And often, like Andy said as well, your internal staff will be really excited to work on these projects. They find it really rewarding to be working directly with social enterprises. That's something that we hear all the time. And it's also a great thing to talk to future talent that you hopefully will join the company to say that this is the impact we're making and it's for our supply chain. And this really speaks to a lot of people. So I just wanted to leave you with the last kind of slide talking about the benefits that this really can bring to your organization, and we'd be really excited to work with any of you that are interested.